St. Petersburg, the Boris Yeltsin Presidential Library. Putin sat across from Iran's Foreign Minister Araki and said this: "Last week I received a message from the Supreme Leader of Iran. Please convey my sincere gratitude and confirm that Russia, like Iran, intends to maintain our strategic relations. Please convey to the Supreme Leader my best wishes for his good health and well-being." 4 sentences, 3 revelations. 1. Iran's new Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei unseen since this war began. Trump said last week America cannot even identify him as alive, functioning, personally reaching out to Putin. 2. Putin confirmed it publicly, on the record, at a formal Kremlin meeting. He did not have to, he chose to. 3. Russia just told the world explicitly it will do Putin's exact words, everything that serves Iran's interests. Everything. I have watched how great powers signal their intentions for 4 decades. What happened Monday in St. Petersburg was not a diplomatic footnote. It was a message to Washington, and Washington does not appear to have heard it clearly. Before we continue, 4 things. Subscribe to Respect B, because what I am about to tell you about Russia's entry into this war's diplomatic equation is not being examined with the depth it deserves. The bell ensures you hear every development first. Share this video with one person who deserves to understand why a meeting in St. Petersburg just changed the geometry of this entire conflict. Give it a like and leave a comment. Tell me where in the world you are watching from. Your city, your country. Every location is proof this conversation is crossing the borders that the official narrative has drawn around it. Now let us examine what Putin actually did on Monday and what it means. The coverage described Monday's gathering as a diplomatic meeting between Russia and Iran. That framing is incomplete. The meeting was attended by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, Presidential aide Yuri Yushakov, and Admiral Igor Kostyukov, the head of Russian military intelligence. Pause on that last name, the head of Russian military intelligence, present. At a meeting between Putin and Iran's foreign minister during an active war between Iran and the United States. This is not standard diplomatic protocol. When military intelligence leadership attends a meeting of this kind, the conversation includes matters beyond political solidarity. It signals operational coordination. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov previously confirmed, "We have a technical military cooperation agreement, and within that framework we have provided military equipment to Iran." Military equipment confirmed publicly by Russia's own foreign minister. Iran last year sealed a 20-year strategic partnership agreement with Moscow. Russia is building 2 new nuclear units at Bushehr, and Iran supplied Russia with Shah drones for use against Ukraine. This is not a new relationship assembled in a crisis. It is a deep, documented, mutually reinforcing partnership built over years, precisely for moments like this. And on Monday it sent a message that Washington has not yet adequately processed. Now the revelation inside Putin's statement that matters most. Mojtaba Khamenei has not been seen or heard from in public since becoming Iran's leader. A source told CNN last month that he suffered a fractured foot, a bruised left eye, and minor lacerations in the same strikes that killed his father. Trump said last week publicly America does not know who leads Iran. After Monday, that statement looks different, because Mojtaba Khamenei did not communicate through the foreign ministry, not through the parliament speaker, not through a written statement released anonymously. He communicated directly, personally, to Vladimir Putin. That is the act of a leader who is trying to demonstrate to Russia, to Iran's own power structure, to the world that he is present and in control. It is also the act of a leader who needs something from the person he is reaching out to. Araki told Iranian media he traveled to Russia with the aim of continuing close consultations between Tehran and Moscow on regional and international issues. In 4 days, Araki visited Pakistan, Oman, Pakistan again, and then Russia. That is not the travel schedule of a government confident in its position. That is the travel schedule of a government building leverage, looking for partners, looking for backing that changes the calculation in Washington. In St. Petersburg, it found a partner who said publicly he will do everything that serves Iran's interests. Russia's involvement is not altruistic. Putin does not sit across from Iran's foreign minister with his military intelligence chief present out of solidarity. He does it because involvement serves Russian interests. Let me identify what those interests are precisely. First, distraction. Every week that American military attention and political energy are consumed by the Iran war is a week that focus is not on Ukraine. A distracted America is a less effective supporter of Ukrainian defense. Second precedent, Russia is itself under an extensive American sanctions regime. It is watching to see whether sustained economic and military pressure can force a government to surrender its core strategic positions. If Iran holds that precedent matters for Russia's own calculation, third energy markets, the Strait of Hormuz closure has elevated global oil prices significantly. Russia is an oil exporter. Elevated prices mean elevated Russian revenues at precisely the moment sanctions are supposed to be constraining Russia's economy. Fourth, technology exchange. Iran supplied Russia with Shahd drones for use against Ukraine. Russia has air defense systems and missile technology that Iran wants. The relationship is reciprocal and ongoing. The Iran war is, from Moscow's perspective, strategically beneficial across multiple dimensions simultaneously, Germany's Chancellor Friedrich Merz said the U.S. is being humiliated by Iran as he criticized Washington's attempts to extricate itself from the war. That is the leader of Europe's largest economy publicly describing the United States as humiliated. Putin, watching from St. Petersburg, did not need to say anything more than what he said. The meeting spoke for itself. Monday's meeting changes the negotiating geometry in one specific and important way. Before it, the structure was triangular. Us and Iran as principals, Pakistan as intermediary. After it, Iran has publicly, formally on the record Russian political backing, Russian strategic partnership, and Russian military cooperation. Sources familiar with the mediation process say ongoing talks are centered around a staged process, the first part focusing on reopening the Strait of Hormuz, with Iran's nuclear program addressed later. Iran is pushing Hormuz first, nuclear later. Secretary of State Rubio said the new Iranian proposal is better than what we thought. They were going to submit, but emphasized that any deal must block Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, better than expected. But nuclear remains the wall, and here is what Russia's presence means for that wall. Russia is building 2 nuclear reactors at Iran's Bushehr plant. Russia has publicly called Iran's civilian nuclear program legitimate. Russia will not join any multilateral framework designed to constrain it. A non-proliferation framework without Russian participation is not a framework. It is a wish. Iran now knows it has a partner who will not join the pressure, and a pressure campaign with a significant exception is not a pressure campaign. It is a calculation. That Iran can survive. Monday afternoon, St. Petersburg, 4 sentences. Iran's hidden supreme leader is alive and reaching out to Putin personally. Russia will do everything that serves Iran's interests. The head of Russian military intelligence was in the room. I have spent for decades watching great powers signal their intentions. And what I observed Monday was Iran telling the world through the travel schedule of its foreign minister and through Putin's public confirmation of the supreme leader's message that it is not isolated, that it has partners, that it intends to endure. Whether America has accurately accounted for that endurance in its strategic planning is the question that Monday's meeting in St. Petersburg demands. The answer to that question will determine whether this war ends at a negotiating table or somewhere else entirely. This is Respect B. Tell me in the comments, where in the world are you watching from today?